X-ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, 2013. Sorry you fellows are having a bit of a problem. All right, that's the beginning of 2001. Hey, check it out. Good old Randall got here right at 5:30. Let's let him in. Hey, Randall, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Look at me. When my wife is up visiting her dad, taking care of stuff like that, my kids at college, I'm ready to go. I'm here 10 minutes early. Like, my name is Randall Armstrong. And then Randall
Yeah.
Armstrong's like, "Oh man, come on! I live in Florida. It's really hard to get home. I'm not sleeping enough. My house
Oh man,
probably smells like weed."
it's been no, it's been like such a rough week, man. Like this is
Yeah.
the most I've been sleep deprived in a while.
Sorry, I'm making fun of you, but you know, I love it when the younger kids are like, "I'm working real hard."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're living the retired life. You're like,
I just remember when I was working real hard. Really sucked.
yeah.
And but the
Oh
whole point
yeah,
of the whole point of working really hard is you work real hard, and then you get to the point where it's like, hey, I think I'll make sure that my district supervisor gets fucking thrown out. Goodbye, Joel and Gardio. That was something that we've been working on for a year at least, and 3 years definitely low key before that finally
yeah.
happened. Last night because we just got rid of our local supervisor. It's pretty cool. It's never happened in the history of San Francisco, which is
Yeah.
almost a 200-year-old city. Somebody and
Yeah.
San Francisco, I don't know if you know the history of San Francisco, but our town is a lunatic town. Like, whatever you're into, not only is there a club for it, there's probably a parade. And like, the thing I love most about San Francisco is the whole like Gold Rush Barnaby Coast stuff. This town
Yeah.
was just fucking bang bang pew pew. It was crazy, right? And
Yeah.
so in the early 1800s, after the gold rush but before the Civil War, uh the town was just kind of lawless. And so the mayor and all the main people running shit were all like just criminals. And so
Oh yeah.
regular people formed this thing called the San Francisco Vigilante fucking, it wasn't club. It was something like that though. It was like the San Francisco
Union.
Vigilante, like, you know, just scotch and cigars and loose women's club.
Yeah.
But they were formed for the express purpose of fucking murdering all these criminals, installing their friends, and that's usually the kind of like crazy authoritative thing that you might be reading about in the newspaper. But in San Francisco, they cleaned everybody up. It took 72 hours, and then they just went back to their jobs. They went, all right, that's it. We just needed to get rid of these fucking motherfuckers. And now we're all just, we're not in the business of telling people what to do or controlling shit. Those people just had to go. So we took care of them.
Yeah.
And now we're going off on our business.
It,
And it kind of seemed like that,
it
getting rid
sounds like a
of,
great movie.
you know, I'm sure there's been a book about it. I when I first heard about it, I kind of did some research about it, and the first their headquarters was what was the first Levi Strauss building. There's
Okay.
lots of inns. I mean, San Francisco in the Old West is kind of a cool town. Like, whenever you do a show like Hell on Wheels, did you ever see that with Anson Mount and Common?
No, no. I remember when the show was on. It was like AMC, right?
Yeah, but you know what it is, right? Once a
Like the.
season they'd go back to San Francisco because that was like civilization, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
They had to do something in San Francisco, and it was like, I remember that show Warrior, kind of like Kung Fu for Generation Z.
Yeah.
I liked that show. That was great. But like it took place in San Francisco because like on the West Coast that's where everything cool happened. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Pink
All
Panther.
all the business happens on the East Coast, and then all the cool stuff happens on the West Coast.
Well, yeah, I mean, during the Old West, it was the frontier, right? It was like an outpost in the frontier. So You could basically
Yeah.
do Babylon 5 in San Francisco in 1840. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't be aliens. They'd
Yeah,
just
yeah,
be from all over the world, right?
right.
Our one last best hope for peace. Bang, bang. Anyway, tell me what you thought about Pink Panther.
I liked it. I literally just finished it maybe 5-10 minutes ago,
So
just in the nick of time.
this was your idea. So it's because you like the Steve Martin one, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I remember seeing one of the older Pink Panther films, um, probably late '80s, early '90s, and of course, I've seen the Pink Panther animated series. So the music, like I'm very familiar with the music, but like the whole like Inspector Clouseau, like I just remember seeing like bits and pieces on television, like because it would like I would watch all kinds of movies, and then sometimes I would scroll, and then I would catch a little bit of some of the Pink Panther films, and every now and then there'd be like a bit or some part in the film that catches my attention, and I would start laughing. But like I always kind of was like, one of these days I got to go and just watch the whole film. But of course, the very first film I never saw any snippets of, and man, the, the last half of the film is the best. It really is. I'm glad I finally watched it. I thought, oddly enough, I always had this impression like, okay, this movie is about Inspector Clouseau. This movie is Peter Sellers, but it really was actually just focused on David Niven. The Phantom. Like the thief. So it's like it's interesting, like how when they decided to do sequels, I'm sure it shifted and like, no, it's going to be focused on Clouseau. But that first film, if there was never a sequel to the Pink Panther films, if it was just a standalone film, you wouldn't think that the movie's about Inspector Clouseau. You would think it's about the thief, at least from my point of view.
Well, I would think it was about the jewel because that's the title of the movie.
True, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, like the person that kind of like the way the camera, the narrative, like the way it followed.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. That's I was trying to lead into why this movie annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I was very excited to watch this movie because I, like you, had never seen this one.
Oh, okay.
Because it came out the year I was born.
Oh, okay.
And so my experience of the Pink Panther was 100% the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Which is 5 or 6 years later from this movie. And I think there's 2 sequels that had come out before they did the kid version, right?
Yeah.
But so then by that time I'm 6 and have no idea that this is a live action movie.
Yeah.
I kind of really, at 6 years old, I don't even really have an idea of what movies and TV are. Like, for real, I thought that, like, when the band played on the radio, that they were at the radio station and just setting up their stuff.
Yeah.
When they spun a record. So I kind of thought the same thing about TV, that this is just a camera played on, kids doing a play.
Yeah.
I know what TV is, right? But I just thought it was happening live.
Right.
Like at the station. So that didn't account for cartoons. I knew cartoons was a special thing for kids. Didn't really have an idea how to do it. But that music by Henry Mancini is so iconic. Even by 1969, when I started watching the cartoon, because I looked it up. Dun-dun-dun-dun. It totally puts the thing about the kids' cartoon is it has characters and situations like the movie, right? Except filtered through for kids. So So when you hear that music cue in the movie and you hear the music cue in the cartoon, it's for the exact same reason, right? Something wacky's about to happen, right? So I was just really, I would just I had so many preconceived notions about what the Pink Panther means, and like the cartoon style of art. even just spelling Blake Edwards wrong in the credits, like
Yeah.
it, all of that stuff is a Pink Panther cartoon thing,
Yeah.
which I was 100% like. The kids show is basically the adventures of the main credits and
Yeah.
the broom thinking guy at the end, right? So this middle part is kind of like a James Bond light movie where they follow the bumbling guy who's trying to stop the cool guy,
Yeah.
right? And then there's young Robert Wagner in there that, like, he's so young he doesn't even look like Robert Wagner, although he sounds like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he said something a couple of times, and I was like, wow, that guy sounds exactly like Robert Wagner. And then he turns, and I'm like,
Oh, right.
motherfucker, that's like 19-year-old Robert Wagner or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. You keep
I
telling me why you liked it, and I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you mentioned Robert Wagner. My experience of knowing who Robert Wagner is from the Austin Powers films, and like I'm sure like they emphasize like how great it was to have him in the movies with Austin Powers, so you could tell like the way they spoke about him, like this guy had like sort of like this older like legendary career, because I wasn't too familiar with his older films, but like to see him in the Pink Panther, I'm like, oh, it's the great Robert Wagner. It's awesome.
Did you never watch that show Heart to Heart?
No, I did see. What's hilarious is Amy Poehler and I forget who else. They did like a mock. They did copies of the intro of TV shows that they like.
Yeah. Adam Scott and those guys.
Yeah. So Heart to Heart was one of them. And
what was
so
it called? The
like,
best event in television history or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
That was the thing they did for Adult Swim, and they did like 3 shot-for-shot remakes of old shows. Yeah, and Heart to Heart was one of them, and
yeah. And so I got curious what Heart to Heart was, so I Googled it, looked it up, and then I saw the original intro to compare it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I mean, like, there's, gosh, you know how
I'm just saying that
70s were.
Nah, man, it's not that old. Like, that show had only been off the air for like 5 years when Robert Wagner did Wayne's World, and it was cool to have him. Yeah, man. Like, let's see, Wayne's World was like 87, right?
No, Wayne's World. I mean, well, maybe
cutting
this
granite.
skit.
I was cutting granite.
Skit, but the movie, no, the first Wayne's World movie, I think was 1990, 91.
No, man. No.
Yeah, because I think Wayne's World 2 was 93.
Wayne's World. Well, I saw it in Georgia no matter what. Yeah, you're right, 92. Huh. That's weird. What was I doing home? Because I saw it with my mom. What was I doing in Georgia in 92? That's nuts. So okay. So I mean, so it was off for 7 years. Let's see when Heart to Heart was canceled. To Heart ended. I'm just saying, Robert Wagner. Uh-oh. Some reason Google doesn't want. Let's see. Yeah, 84. So okay, 10 years, 8 years. Right. I mean, I'm just saying to
almost a decade.
Most people, unless you were a kid in the seats, like I mean, think about it. The first Austin Powers has Michael York in it. Like, and everybody loves Michael York, but like no one knows who Michael York is now. Unless you know like this cool British guy who had cancer, blood cancer, which is kind of rare. Anyway. He was in Babylon 5 too, speaking of Babylon 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played a cool space ranger who, through PTSD, thought he was King Arthur. And that was
nice.
Cool. Yeah. King Arthur in space.
Now, that's another show, like, because I'm a big J. Michael Straczynski fan, so like I hope to like binge watch that series one day.
Yeah, you should talk to John Price. He loves it more than I do. And nice. I have all the screenplays. So the thing I like
Oh,
about
cool.
Babylon 5 is that it was on for 5 years and like had 6 or 7 TV movies, and one guy wrote all of that except for 8 episodes, where he got his friends, Harlan Ellison and David Gerald to fill in for him. So
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of shows that is this vision of one man. So like there's not a lot of all the dumb crap I complain about in Star Trek. It's basically because they have 9,000 people working on it all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And and so but if one guy's writing it, you can keep all that stuff straight, right? Because it's in your
Oh,
head and
consistency.
your notes, right? Anyway, so he did a cool thing when print on demand started to become like a viable commercial thing. Uh, he was like, okay, I'm going to just collect all the screenplays and, into volumes this thick. It ended up being between 5 and 7 episodes, depending on, how long he wrote
Yeah.
stuff. And man, so I bought them all and it's worth it. It's an entire shelf on my bookshelf. Because there's like 17 volumes. But I started doing this when I got them, and I only made it to season 3. But
Yeah.
I would watch the episode and have the script open and read along. So like I could read, like the dialogue almost never changed. Like every once in a while somebody would like blow a line and they just never shot it again.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, "Oh, there's 17 school buses over there," they'd be like, "Oh, look at the school buses over there." You know what I mean? So it'd be a
Yeah.
subtle difference that makes no difference to the plot. Or there's like an entire scene that's like either missing or just completely ad libbed, and so that's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe not ad lib, but rewritten on the day of the shoot.
Yeah.
So it's not in with. Anyway,
No,
I,
I mean,
I
that's
recommend it. That's a great show.
yeah. No, it's great to be able to see. I mean, that's what I want, right? Like when they started making director's commentary for the films, it's like I want to know everything. I want to know if you guys had an hour of footage that you guys filmed and didn't put in the movie, I would want to know every bit of what you filmed that didn't make it into the film and then why. I would love the whole,
Yeah, there's not a lot
details
of
of it.
us, man. You and me,
No.
my friend Nick Tierce is really into process stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I will. It'll make me like a project more if I see all that stuff,
Yeah.
because even if it's weak or it's not to my taste or something, hearing what the creatives had in mind automatically makes me start pulling for them. Right, I'm on their
Yeah.
side because it's like, well, this kind of thing's hard enough to do anyway. Which, bringing it back to Pink Panther, is kind of funny. They what did you think of its production value? Like, even noticing it was in 1963.
Well, I mean, honestly, it looked big. I mean, at least in the second half, it looked big. But then, like,
Yeah.
there's parts of the film where you're like, okay, they definitely saved a lot of money here because it's a lot of the same scenery. It's just them going back and forth, hiding and moving, almost like a play. Like one of my,
Yeah.
I love the movie. Um, Michael Caine is in it, and they're trying to do a play. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Christopher Reeve is in it. John Ritter is in it. Gosh, what's the name of it?
It's like Mind Trap or something like that,
No,
right?
no, no, no. It's a comedy, and one of the guys from like Perfect Strangers is in it. I think Mary Lou Henner is in it. I have it. I have it in my library. It's a play, and it's like sardines. And it's like, let me see real quick. Michael Caine.
Noises Off. Carol Burnett, Christopher Reeve, John Witter, Mary Lou Henner, and Nicholas Sheridan. Julie Haggerty. A
Yeah.
1992 American comedy directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Okay. Noises
What's
Off.
the name of it?
It's called
Noises Off. Yes.
Traveling theater group finds so much action going on behind the scenes they almost ruin the performances. Well, that's great.
It's like you get to see the play, like they do a run through of the play, so you see how the play is supposed to work, and then it's they're showing one of the showings where, because it's a Broadway play, so like it's one of the nights where they're performing. However, there's all this behind the scenes drama because several of the actors are dating, then they break up, and then now they're dating somebody else within the group, and there's just all this drama going on. So they're putting on the play, and then you're seeing behind the scenes of them like fighting one another and attacking and screwing up, and like the audience, you can tell, has no clue what's going on, but like they just think it's all part of the play, and then you see like Michael Caine, who's like the director and writer of the play. He's watching everything go crazy and he's freaking out and he's like showing up like, what are you doing, what's going on? And it's such a fun movie. So like when I saw the part in Pink Panther where Inspector Clouseau is trying to spend time with the wife, but then the two guys, the nephew and then the Phantom, they're like basically in this kind of like almost like love triangle. They're attracted to this woman. They're with her, and she's trying to like hide them and move them around and maneuver with Peter Sellers. So
when you said Michael Caine and Christopher Reeve, Chris and I are pretty much the same age, so that was the movie I was trying to think of, Mousetrap. Because
no, it's called Death Trap.
Death Trap.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why we don't remember, because we're old men. Because the only thing we think of when you say Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine is the movie they were smooching.
Yeah.
But back before you started that diatribe, the reason I was saying I asked you about the production value is because one of the weird things about super old 60 movies, that always takes me out of it, is that they're kind of like, this happens up to about Bullet with Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
That like movies are still kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah.
For the audience, right? And so like the James Bond movies end up being like travelogues, right? Like it looked like that's kind of what they were doing with this. That just for the regular people in Des Moines, Idaho, or Iowa, or wherever Des Moines is, one of the I states. I don't know. How about I don't know. I'm trying to think of some podunk town in the Midwest. But like in 1963, in the Midwest, like, there's nothing around. So when the local movie comes to town, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're showing you something you can't see by looking out the window, right? Which is all movies are anyway.
They're showing you the world, right? So like it's like in Europe and it's in other places.
But for some movies like that, right? For every epic thing you have of like, the European castles or the snow-covered mountains or the aristocracy and the cute girls and all the jewelry and stuff. But every inside scene was on a set in LA, right?
Oh yeah.
Like whenever they were like bumbling around in the closet or falling into the bed, but off camera, so you can only see their feet because it's 1963 and you can't show people in bed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's that going to mean? It looks cheese dick, right? Everything's like painted plywood and curtains you just got at like Sears or JCPenney,
Yeah.
And it's like, it was so jarring to me that these perfectly little set pieces, literally, that like, oh, here somebody shot a whole episode of Twilight Zone in these two rooms, and we can just use this and put in some stuff of Robert Wagner skiing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's movie magic, man. Like especially if you're really, really hooked. Like when you're so focused on what's happening, you're not really paying attention to the scenery in the background. You're just like thinking like, oh, where, how is this guy going to get away, or is he going to get caught?
But that's kind of my point, is that it's not movie magic. Like something in Star Trek that's shot 3 years later, literally the same thing. It's painted plywood and Christmas tree lights and blinking and shit. But you're so riveted on what's happening, you just kind of buy it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's fine because it's a made up thing. Okay, you're telling me that the Starship Enterprise looks like plywood and drywall painted light blue. Okay, right? But that's what's so jarring about this to me is that it's opulent. It's the biggest jewel ever known, and it has this little. It's the perfect clarity of all time, except this little thing that's so this flaw that's so bad it actually looks like a little Pink Panther, and it makes it cool, right? And there's opulence everywhere, and cool cars, and $1 billion dresses, and people saying it's going to cost $40,000 to do something. And like in 1963, that's like $250,000. And then like right after they say, well, we want $250,000 for that. I'm like, that's like 5 million. You know what I mean? They're talking about giant amounts of money.
Yeah.
But then half the money is shot inside in like an abandoned aircraft warehouse in Burbank, and it looks like it, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes when the sets are shitty, but and the story is epic and everything else is off the charts, you just flow with it. But when you have something that's like here's an opulent story that takes place in the richest parts of the world, and there's shit like that, it just takes me out of it, and I'm like, it kind of starts to be a ding. And so that's why I laughed when you're like, oh, I love the last half of the movie, and I was like, yeah, I didn't. So I was really interested because I knew that we were going to have the same level of familiarity with it, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's so cool. You were like trying to see all the good in it, and I was seeing all the bad.
Yeah. I mean, I like to try to do that with. I mean, I guess maybe because I love movies so much that I know that I've met people that are like, oh, I know how it's made, so like every time I watch the movie, I can nitpick it. But I don't know what it is, but my brain is just like, you know what? Even if I knew, like I enjoy watching it so much, there's a part of my brain that would ignore that. I think my brain would recognize it after watching the movie. But then, like, when I'm watching the movie, it's like I'm in there. I'm in that world. I'm in that universe. I'm watching it. I'm absorbing it. I'm enjoying it. And
I think that's true for everyone, right? I mean, you're asking to be transported to a different time and place, right? Even if it's something that happens in the modern day, it's not happening next door to you, right? It's some other time and some other place, and I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying is that in this one, their stuff wasn't visually consistent.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
And I think part of that is a limitation of the cameras and film of the time, right? Just by shooting outdoors and shooting inside, it just looks different.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's what was making me so uneasy about the stupid thing.
Okay.
Let's see what Timmy's saying. Hello, lads. I think I would enjoy owning a replica of the Pink Panther jewel.
Nice.
Okay. Not me.
You know, it'd be funny is if someone hosted. It'd be funny. You ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, man.
So you know the Halloween heist.
I do.
So
all three episodes. Their last episode was the heist, right?
One of the last episodes.
I think that show ended perfect because they did a heist, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm up to date on 9/9 and the crossover episode with New Girl.
Yeah. I was thinking like, how cool would it be if someone hosted like a party, and it was in the theme of like sort of like the Halloween heist, but the thing that they're stealing would be the replica Pink Panther jewel. Like that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. A little derivative.
Yeah.
And not worthy of.
Yeah.
So anyway, John Suntrace sent me you know John Suntrace? He's
yes. I always butcher his last name.
Yeah, he's Word Balloons is his podcast, and he's Chicago Radio Hall of Fame. He's a serious guy who knows how to do an interview. Yeah. And he's doing this cool thing on his Patreon that in some of his cool interviews, he'll just do a transcript of it and just collect it in a little PDF and have like a print magazine for people to refer to. And I think that's really cool because he generates so much content. Yeah. It's hard sometimes Like the magazine he just did was Nana Visitor. If you're a real Star Trek fan, you know how to say her name because it's spelled Nana, right? But she pronounces it Nana. She played Major Kira Nerys on Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And comics fans will know her because she was in the Sam Jones Spirit in the late '80s or early
I've
'90s.
been wanting to watch that.
Well, don't bother; it's pretty awful.
I imagine. You're talking to the guy who owns Nightman on TV show on digital.
Yeah, don't diss Nightman. That's based on a Derek Robertson comic. So yeah.
Oh, but I watched a couple episodes. It's total '90s. Like the dude's a saxophone player and a superhero, and
I know.
I just couldn't contain myself,
So
I was like, I look forward to
Derek,
watching this whole thing.
Derek lived down the street. He lived like 15 blocks away from me when that was going on, and
That's
he
awesome.
bought a car with his TV money and a vanity plate that said Nightman. He's driving around in some kind of like sports car that said Nightman on it, and
Nice.
I just like, dude, that's ridiculous, right? Anyway, and now look at him. Second house in Italy. Did The Boys and Preacher. Mr. Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood.
I love Derek. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad he has all that success because he deserves it. Anyway. So yeah, Pink Panther. That's it. I don't really have anything to say about it because I was just like, yeah.
Bored.
I mean, I'm trying to say no, but I kind of was, right? There was just nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a 61-year-old show. Here's what it is. Like do you remember Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland? And,
yeah.
Okay, there was like a 10-year-old vampire in it, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Little kid vampire, but they stole that right out of Interview with a Vampire, right? And all kinds of crap was just getting.
Interview came out after
The book?
Oh, I mean, maybe not the book, but I mean the movie.
I'm just trying to build an argument so that every once in a while, if something's cool, okay, I'll change to John Carter. Like John Carter came out in 1910.
Yeah.
And so when the movie came out in 15, nobody gave a shit because literally everything in it is like, oh, look, there's a thing they stole from Star Wars, and there's a thing that and it's like, no, you guys don't understand that everything's been stealing from this book for 100 years.
Yeah.
That's why it looks derivative. It's because everything else was derived from this. And that's sort of what was going on with Interview with a Vampire, that by the time they made that first movie, everything cool in it had been ripped off from other things. Right? So that's kind of how I feel about the Pink Panther, through no fault of its own, right?
Yeah.
That it went so out into the universe so fast. I mean, there was Pink Panther cereal you could get, man. You pour the milk on it and it turns your cereal pink.
Yeah.
Because it's that strawberry shit that they do for Cocoa Puffs, right?
Right.
Just instead of chocolate, it turned into strawberry. I mean, that was a thing for years. You could buy Pink Panther cereal. Everybody knows that. And so it's really weird going to revisit it after, 60 years and expect to be entertained.
Right.
Because literally all the cool shit from that, I mean, Blake Edwards stole from himself, honestly, right? He's a pretty good guy. He did like Kramer versus Kramer, I think, eventually, right? But he did like Peter Gunn. Do you know the Peter Gunn show? He's like the hard rock and jazz detective in 1957. It was like one of the first PI shows.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know that game Spy Hunter, right?
Yeah.
That music is the Peter Gunn theme.
Yeah, okay.
And so there's one that I think that like Blake Edwards was just so cutting edge but like in the 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
And so over the years, everybody goes, "Oh, I'm going to do that Blake Edwards riff. I'm going to steal this bit for whatever." You know what I mean? He had a really cool career. I think he did. He was involved with 10 too, if I'm not mistaken. Sagasag might know.
Oh,
Although
you
he
know.
has a good Pink Panther observation, the 70 sequels were better. I agree. Like the your point that it's not really about Inspector Clouseau and it's not about the jewel is just the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Like they might as well have called this movie The MacGuffin, right? Because
They could have called it the Phantom.
well, yeah, I mean, but it's Blake Edwards, so he's smart and called it the Pink Panther.
Right.
Because
Right.
I mean, the my problem with it in 2025 is that it's so played out, but it's played out because everybody's been ripping it off for 60 years. That's all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I agree with that. In fact, they're making another Pink Panther film. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did. I'm not waiting for it. I don't.
it's
I
it,
just
it'll,
I just don't appreciate that kind of arch. It's like droll what they called sitting room comedies.
yeah.
I don't think we need that in 2025, man. I need like 4 more movies in Borderlands or something
Yeah.
with like wisecracking robots and hot girls shooting people. Like this kind of
Yeah.
thing, like, oh yeah, please, how could you afford that mink stove? Okay. I mean,
I think some movies are made just because actors are like, I want to do something. I don't care if it's good or bad. I just feel like doing it. And then of course, studios or companies like Netflix and stuff or Amazon, they're like, yeah, well, we're really big fans of your work, so we want to work with you. So yeah, we'll do it. We'll make it for you. So
so
like the
what's
whole like
that? What?
Eddie Murphy playing I don't know if he will go by Inspector Clouseau or not, but him being the new guy for the Pink Panther, like it feels like it's going to be a different direction because it's Eddie Murphy.
All right. I think you're pretty safe on that one.
Yeah,
It's going to be a different direction. He's probably not going to be playing a French inspector.
he said maybe Nigerian
Dude,
or something like that. Like,
I would love that. Just have
yeah,
Eddie Murphy just playing Peter Sellers. Just do that.
yeah.
That'd be hilarious. All right.
I will say my favorite part of the film that I found most entertaining probably was um, the chase scene with the driving at the end. This old man in the middle of the night is just like trying to cross the street, and he just can you imagine like from his point of view, like one day he's going to be at a bar or he's going to be at lunch or dinner with friends, and he's going to be like, craziest thing happened to me. Nobody out in the road. I'm out in the middle of the night, and I see these guys dressed as apes in the car driving past me, and the police are chasing them, And like he's literally in the middle of the two cars when they stop, and they're both chatting with each other, trying to figure out like, hey, how are we gonna get out of here? Like I just think like how funny the idea that there should have been like a short like fan film or whatever, just or
Yeah.
in today's time it would have been an after credit scene.
My big problem was I had just watched Final Reckoning, the last Mission Impossible movie, and
Yeah,
then watched that, and I was like, yeah, man, no wonder I think Pink Panther isn't that great because Mission Impossible will have a shot of the Kremlin, right?
yeah,
But it's a cool drone shot that they've souped up something going that goes 35 miles an hour and then zips up to 150 feet and then down into Tom Cruise's nose or whatever. And
yeah,
you're like, it's all part of the storytelling and it's great, right? And then in Pink Panther, it's like they just like this slow pan. Hey, look, it's a castle from Europe.
yeah.
And then they hold on it for like 15 seconds. Then they follow a car or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I almost did some
Tom Cruise
laundry.
has spoiled us, man.
It's just that it's so much of a different kind of storytelling
Oh yeah,
that even TV 5 years later has completely changed the language, right?
Yeah.
Of film storytelling. So it's like, I don't know. I don't usually have this reaction, but I think it's because unless being there, I think Peter Sellers is not. I think he's the Alan Moore of old actors. He's like wildly overrated for what he does, and just that I think that is like crazy, polarizing, and controversial statement because everyone else thinks he's such an iconic guy, and I'm just like, I guess, you know.
I think he just gets a lot of recognition because of in that time period he did so many movies. So when you do that many movies, I mean, remember pre-internet, pre all that stuff, like he had a certain level of fame because he was everywhere.
I completely understand it, but I don't care. Like
Yeah.
he's he's one of the first guys that did did really cool physical comedy, like the stuff where he's pouring the milk out and then just giving you the rest of it and going, that's all they had. That's like a Chevy Chase bit, right?
Yeah.
Knocking over the thing for a laugh, right?
Yeah.
Like, so physical comedy is great, and he started it, but from 2000. I mean, the real problem is this movie came out the year I was born. So I have this crazy blind spot between like 1955 and about 1965, right? I guess right around the time Batman started in 66, I was really aware of pop culture and media and stuff. But I was like 4, right? That's pretty early, right?
Yeah.
But TV was fucking cool, right? There's Batman and Daniel Boone and fucking Star Trek and Lost in Space and Land of the Giants and Time Tunnel and you know what I mean? Bewitched and Brady Bunch and just fucking everything that was on TV. And then if your parents let you stay up, you could watch fucking Johnny Quest at 8 o'clock at night. What? There's kids' cartoons. It's prime time. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't know that.
Flintstones
Johnny
and
Quest.
Flintstones and
8 p.m.?
Jetsons too. 8 p.m. 7:30, I think, for Flintstones. Anyway, so my problem is that right when I was born to a little before, like early stuff in the 50s, I understand historically. But there's this bit between 55 and 65 that I don't get intellectually and I don't respond to emotionally because it's just like this weird blind spot. And so Pink Panther's in there. So fuck you, Peter Sellers.
Did you ever see the movie Murder by Death?
Well, I mean, I know of it, but it's just, this isn't my kind of stuff, man. I don't think it's funny.
I understand.
I'm just saying I feel bad that I have to, like, in a way that I don't feel bad, that I can say with a straight face, Star Trek Discovery blows and everybody involved in it should be embarrassed. Except for Jason Isaac and Doug Jones. They were doing a great job. But I don't have a problem saying that, because even though people enjoy this thing, right? But I do kind of have a problem saying this because I understand people enjoy it, but I understand it's me. Like for Star Trek Discovery, it's modern Star Trek. It's not me, because there's a lot of people that think like me. There's not a lot of people that think like me that like, oh, nice job, Peter Sellers. Try again with your wildly successful Pink Panther series that only Larry thinks is stupid. Right? I feel like I should apologize. That it's me. I don't get it. It's not my thing. Sorry.
You like what you like. There's nothing wrong with not liking something.
I just like so much weird shit that if something's just kind of like doing its job, I'm not gonna like it.
I know what you mean. I know what you
mean. There's nothing so extreme that I can love or hate. Because even if I hate a movie, I still enjoy it, right?
Right.
Because I will enjoy talking about like how it's such a train wreck. But yeah, this one was just kind of like, yeah, it's all right.
And I'll be honest, I didn't watch the movie like from beginning to end in one swoop. Actually, when we had plans to do the DORK COURT last week, I had watched at least half of the film, so I was
Oh
like
yeah.
prepared. I was prepared to watch the other half, but then like I just got so swamped, and I'm still swamped this week. But I'm just glad that I was able to make time today to do it.
Yeah, man. Like me and Chris and Tim and everybody appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you. I mean, this is just supposed to, like I told you, man, it's supposed to be fun. And if you're like stressed out, it's not gonna be fun. So
yeah, no, I
take
agree.
care of
I
your
agree.
stress.
Well, I mean, this for me. This is like the one of the few fun things I get to do every week because I work
That's
so
awesome.
much. I work so much, and it's like I used to play video games. Like I can't remember the last time I played a video game. Thank God for games on cell phones that distract me a little bit in life. Um, but yeah, no, like this is just one of the things I always look forward to, and
Aw, so does
and
Timothy. He loves us.
and also it's really motivating me to watch movies. Like I got sucked into just constantly watching television, and so there'd be a movie I want to watch, but I'm like 2 hours, I don't have enough time. Meanwhile, I'll binge watch a TV show and it's been 2-3 hours. So it's like, no, that's not true. You have time to watch a movie. You just want like shorter form of content. So this is
I
pushing me
got
back
you.
into the old habits of watching movies. However, I'm still not completing movies like all in one swoop.
If
Maybe
it
some
makes you
movies that I
feeling
get
better,
really.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, if it makes you feeling better, I kind of this one I was able to watch all at once because no one was around. But usually I can only
Yeah.
watch the first half and then the back half. So I
Okay.
don't. What I'm saying is, don't feel like that adds to your stress. I think that's just a function of our regular modern day. It's hard
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
2 hours or two and a bit all at once, and maybe it's like 2.5 because you want to get your food ready, go to the bathroom and stuff, sit down, have a nice, pull the shades. Yeah, man. I get it.
And then of course for our younger folks, this right here also eats up so much time. Social media, like TikTok. Once again, they're talking about ending TikTok again, and I get so tired of it, the drama. But I've met some really great comic book people on the TikTok app, and it feels like we're building like a really great comic book community. And these guys are going live, so and then you get invited into live chats. So it's kind of similar to this, except like I'm not on video. I can just chat on the phone, and they're showing it on their live feed on their TikTok channel, and
Yeah,
um
that's cool.
and we're just talking comics, man. We're talking comics, and I've met people where they're just like, man, Randall, you know a lot about comic books, and it's like, and sometimes I'm just like, I feel like, I mean, like I know people that know 10 times more than I do, so it feels nice to be complimented, like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
you know this, you
awesome.
know that. And yeah, I think the thing
That's
that they,
why.
they like learning about.
That's why I smiled so much because I was like, if you're around long enough, you're gonna get that. And I'm like, oh, you're starting to be like that guy now. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
tell us what happened. You're not Yoda yet, but you're like solid Qui-Gon, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
all the other
I
Padawans
gotta get
are
the,
like,
I gotta get the cloak, man, and it's funny when it rains here in Florida. I have my hoodie, so I'll put the top of the hoodie over my head when it rains, and I'm trying to like get into the gas station. I did that today. So like I like when I walk inside of the gas station and I take the little hoodie part and I take it off. I feel like one
yeah,
of the Jedi, like
look for Anakin. Anakin.
yeah.
So let's get back to Chris Seguisig. I'll say his name correctly for once. I was saying I can't really deal stuff in this weird spot, and like even Forbidden Planet, and I have to say, yes, Forbidden Planet just weirds me out because it's so obviously Star Trek. They ripped everything of Star Trek out of the captain, the whole paramilitary thing about the space crew and everything. Even that little astro navigator thing in the middle of the ship, it's 100%.
And it's Leslie Nielsen too, right?
Yes, but he's playing it straight. Tim loves us still. Chris smiles. I started watching Downhill Racer, lost interest, but maybe finish it. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just something weird about 69 I can take. Late 60s are pretty good, but even that, there's some interesting choices that cinema is making back then. Definitely in the 70s with the anti-heroes and stuff. It's weird. I kind of can't wait for what happens in film now, where Walker and his boys, when they come out of film school, and start doing stuff like you said for an audience that, I mean, like Verticals is a thing now, like shooting soap operas and vampire stories like for the phone, right?
For the phone, yeah.
So like there's going to be stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I think there's going to be a shift. I think as technology advances, there'll be the shift in society, and maybe what happens is like nostalgia, right? People will be like, oh, reverting back to the old stuff. So like maybe even though it doesn't seem like movies are that popular now, like or even going to a movie theater to see a movie, maybe in the next 10, 20 years there'll be a surge, like a huge return
Yeah,
to
I
people
mean,
like, you know what?
I don't know why you would say that movies aren't popular now. Do you know how much fucking content is being sprayed out like a fire hose? Like,
Dude, I
like
talked
they
to a
made
lot of younger
Old Guard
people that are like,
2, man. Like
they're
what?
when you have young people that literally say, I don't watch movies, like that is like that's you have to pay attention to stuff like that, like when you got to
No,
listen
I
to the young
don't,
people.
because that's not correct. Of course they watch movies. They just watch it 10 seconds at a time, you know?
Yeah.
I don't watch
Well, there's
movies.
a young artist that I spoke with, and she just same thing, right? Like, yes, she has seen movies, but she just doesn't watch regular movies on a regular.
Yeah, that's cool.
When I ask people like, "What's the last movie you've seen?" They literally have that look on their face, like, "I don't know,"
Yeah, but
where
those people are all morons, because you can do the same thing and say, "When was the last time you read a book?" And then they would
right?
be like, "What?" Or say, "When
What's a
was the last
book?
time you actually ate vegetables?" What?
Yeah,
Like you're talking to people in Florida in their 20s. They should all be
yeah, yeah. Well, actually, no. The one person I spoke to also, she's in New Zealand.
okay. She's clearly awesome, just being from New Zealand.
She actually is. I learned a
Whereabouts?
lot about her. Like,
North Island or South Island?
um, so she's very well. One, she's a very popular girl on TikTok. So people are
I
always
don't
asking
care.
her, "Where
Where's
are
she
you from? Where are you
from? Is
from?"
she from North Island or
She
South Island?
doesn't. She doesn't reveal that because she's protecting where she lives. Because I mean, she's one of those girls that would definitely get stalkers.
Oh, it's a
She has the funniest
14-hour
response
plane
though.
flight. Whatever. I don't know why you would give her another
Well,
minute of attention then, because she lives in another country, so who cares?
she is so funny. She really is. She's hilarious. When people keep constantly asking her, "Where are you from?" You know what her answer is? My
What?
dad's ball sack.
So
She's like,
is
"I'm
she
from."
from New Zealand? So if
Yeah.
she's from New Zealand, why are people asking her where she's from? I only want to know if she's
Well,
from
because
the North Island, which means she's a city girl, or the South Island, which
yeah,
is its own thing. So I think it's funny that
yeah,
she wouldn't want to tell you that, because that's kind of a thing in New Zealand.
yeah. Well, no, like I said, like she's got like 28,000 followers. Um, Obviously, most of the people that follow her and watch her are guys that are trying to hit on her, all that other stuff.
So what?
What? Yeah.
No, no, so she has all of those guys are gonna s- spend $2,000 for a 14-hour plane ticket, and so
Well,
just
there's
if they're
guys that are
making
in New
that kind
Zealand
of
as well.
effort, just tell them if they're going to the North Island or the South Island. It's not.
Right, right.
It's like saying, like, "Oh, you're from Florida. Oh, whereabouts?" I get you don't want to tell them the city you're in,
Yeah.
but are you going to tell them you're on the Atlantic side or like the
East
Gulf of
side, west side,
the
north,
Gulf
south.
side, because it's kind of a thing,
Yeah.
It's and so the answer that no, you have so many followers and all those girls are trying to get after you, Randall. It's like I don't hear that.
Well, I
Stupid.
mean, the culture, right? Like women are, they go through different situations than men do. Women can't go jogging at night by themselves, right?
Neither can I. It's just too late.
Yeah, well, you could if you wanted to, and you just don't want to because it's too late.
No, I can't, because then all the people are all stalking me from Australia. I want to watch The Natural, yeah, because Red Bob just died. Did you hear that?
I, I,
Hank Azaria had a cool story about how he was in something. I guess it was he in the whole 9 yards. I don't know. Hank Azaria was in something with him, and he brought his parents over, and he was like, "Yeah, Mister Redford was very nice to my parents. Even now, like I still call him Mister Redford, but like on the shoot, he'd be like, no, just call me Bob." And like all these years later, I can't wrap my head around
was it
that.
Sneakers?
I don't know, probably, but that's not the point. The point is you're getting to be like Mimi now, interrupting right before the story's over to ask a question that doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Good job. That's it. I'm
Sorry.
leaving.
I gotta
Goodbye.
remember.
Nah, never mind. I love doing that. Mark and Steve always panic when I do that. Oh, is he really mad? No. Yeah, no, he said
could have been an actor.
So he gets really nervous around him and he starts to say Mr. Redford, but he literally just told him to call him Bob. So he would stop talking and stumble over and Bob. So he'd go, Mr. Red Bob. And then he made fun of me. He's like, Mr. Red Bob. And then Hank Azaria called him that the rest of the shoot. Hey, it's Mr. Red Bob. And like, he loved that. Can you imagine that? Like, if I'm Robert Redford, I would love that too. Oh, okay. Somebody was kind of tongue tied to meet me, but now he's making it into a joke that we share. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would send Hank Azaria a Christmas card every year until I died.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about Robert Redford I saw is that there was a picture of him and his dad when he was like 3. And it's a picture that his mom took from the side, and his dad's holding him in his hand, and he's standing up just on his hand. But the killer thing, his father looks exactly like him.
Nice.
Like, so when I say exact, it's crazy. It is exact. Let me see if I can find it. I think I sent this to my kid. Oh, yeah, here we go. Wow, look at this. I'm going to put it up, and you're going to go, that's crazy, man. All right, let's do this. Uh-oh. Image file. Open. Okay, check this out. Look at that. So that little kid is Robert Redford, which is kind of adorable. And then the guy holding him up is his dad. But look at that guy's face.
It's Carl Urban, man.
He looks like Robert Redford. That's fucking bananas. So, I mean, it's not that crazy because it's his own father. So, of course, he's got 23 chromosomes. But yeah. I don't look that close to my dad, although we both are pretty bald. I look more like my mom, but like that's what happens, right? People look like an amalgamation of their parents, not exactly like one of them. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good old Robert Redford.
Yeah, it's funny. Some people have said I look like my dad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I sometimes look at my mom and I see some of my features and I can see parts of me that like, okay, that's from my mom.
Yeah. Not Robert Redford. 100% his dad.
Ah, that would be great to look like Robert Redford.
Robert Redford's dad. That's what you want. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have an idea of what we're doing for next week, do we?
Well, I think we should, in honor of Mr. Red Bob. I think we should do most definitely a Robert Redford film.
Have you seen 3 Days of the Condor? 3 Days of
3 Days of the what?
Condor. It's a kind of
no, I haven't. Is that with him
and
it's like involving the news, right? Like
do you like Civil War and Winter Soldier? That's the one, Winter Soldier. Well, we should do 3 Days of the Condor then. We'll see if there's a streamer because that's the movie and tone that Winter Soldier was going for.
I might have it on my Fandango list because when I was buying a bunch of those like Warner Brother 25 films.
Yeah, cool. Let's pencil that one in and we'll figure it out for next Tuesday. How's that?
Yeah. Let me just check real quick. my library. All right, you know what? I'll just type in the film. You said 3 days.
of the Condor. Condor. It's a kind of bird of prey. It's his spy
No, I
movie.
don't have it.
It looks like yeah, it's one of those 1975 movies that is on
So worst case scenario, if it's not available on Tubi, what would be a backup Robert Redford movie we could watch?
I'm just gonna mail you one because you really need to.
Okay.
We're gonna do 3 days of the Condor.
Okay.
You'll have it in the next day or two.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, Randall. Always a pleasure talking to you about stuff like this. And
Yes,
thanks,
sir. Thank
Chris
you.
and Tim. And
Thanks for watching, guys.
yeah.
Oh, and what took me so long to watch the Pink Panther?
What did take you so long? I don't know. It's from 1963.
Yeah. I was too busy watching Tom Cruise movies.
All right. And next week, 3 days of the Condor.
3 days of the Condor. I'm looking forward to it.